Do you remember in July, we thought, oh, that's certainly the worst of it.
That's gotta be the bottom of the pit.
We were wrong. We were so wrong.
So wrong.
It's been harder than I could have imagined. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that it got so hard. I'm sorry that it got harder than we thought it could ever get.
Westwood is located in a Misquachiwaskahikan Beaver Hills house, colonially known as Edmonton. It is the traditional meeting ground and home to many Indigenous people, including Cree, Saulteaux, Dene, Blackfoot, Nakota Sioux, Métis, and many others. Part of building relationship and intercultural competency means developing an awareness of the things we take for granted as normal or right. And so our service this morning, while it's a reflection on the feelings of around the holiday season and the range of feelings we might experience, we have this opportunity then to also do a personal reflection on how European holiday traditions have impacted Indigenous people. And so I invite each of you in your own time and in your own space to take up this work, to think about what it is that we take for granted as normal and right, and how that impacts others. You are in for a musical extravaganza this morning. More than half of the service is music. Yay! Most of the music is by Carrie Day, one of our Westwood contract musicians. And she, when I talked to her about what this service would be about, generously supplied a huge selection of songs to help us represent some of the many and varied feelings that come up around the holiday season. This next song, You Will Be Guided, is written and performed by Carrie Day.
Gotta try to choose to see the brightest side of the dullest things, and know that even the darkest clouds still have got a silver lining. When you feel you've gone astray, the sun will come and light your way. And then through all your losses and all your wins, through the black and white, through the light of the day and the dark of the night, through the gold bones are cold and your heart it aches for the shelter of a love that's tender. The sun will come and light your way and warm you with its lovely rays, and you will be guided through the thick and thin, through all your losses and all your wins, through the black and white, through the light of the day and the dark of the night, through the golden hour where the sunlight falls just right. We get lost in what we don't see, and the big picture's so damn ugly. Don't know what to think, how to believe. We forget to be, forget to breathe, and collide with the other misguided. Isolated, we stay divided, 'cause ego is so one-sided. We gotta trust we will be guided through the thick and thin, through all our losses and all our wins, through the black and white, through the light of the day and the dark of the night, through the golden hour where the sunlight falls just right.
Westwood Unitarian is a compassionate community of free religious thought, inviting all people to rest, grow, and serve the world. We are delighted to have you here with us this morning and look forward to visiting with you following the service. We welcome you, whatever your heritage, whatever your faith, whomever you love, and wherever you may be this morning. We're here striving to live purposeful lives of meaning and joy. And so together we lift one another up. And the slides this morning, to help represent all of the feelings and lifting one another up, are sprinkled with a smattering of humor. And this one is no exception. So if you're on a small screen or your telephone and have difficult reading the print, I'll read them out loud for you as well. This one shows a bunch of people in goofy Christmas attire leaping on a street and says, "One of my biggest fears is that I'll marry into a family that runs 5Ks on the holidays." I'm the Reverend Ann Barker, she, her pronouns, and I have the privilege of serving as minister here at Westwood, and I'm serving as your service leader this morning as well. There'll be no sermon this morning, but rather brief reflections and introductions and a lot of wonderful music. Our musicians today are Carrie Day and Rebecca Patterson, and our tech leaders are Ilara Stefaniak-Gadet and Bill Lee. We are always grateful to the folks behind the scenes, the worship and music teams, and all of our congregational leaders and volunteers. We also have a special featured musician today, a duo actually, the Banksons. Sean and Abigail Bankson recorded our opening song that you heard, July. You may remember them from the Keep Going On song that just made it wildly across the internet, was shared everywhere, and we've played it a couple of times in a service here. The two pieces that we're playing today come from their newest album entitled My Joy is Heavy. We'll play the title track later in the service, and they have graciously granted us permission to share this music with you today and in the recording. I want to let you know that many or most of Carrie's songs and the Bankson songs we're playing this morning are also available on YouTube. If you want to go and find them and listen to them again, this is all really accessible music. So we are going to load you up with music to inspire and nourish and fortify you for the upcoming season. The comic on this screen has a duck just wearing glasses. And the heading is Other People at Christmas, and their little text that they're sending says, OMG, this holiday is so tacky and overdone. And the second duck, dressed all lit up in crazy Christmas attire, and the heading is me, is texting back, I know, right? We want you to know that one more thing that's coming up in the service is that we've heard from some folks that they really miss hearing the voices of their friends, and that they wish that we could have spoken candles sometimes in our Zoom services. So there will be a point later in the service where you will be invited, if you'd like, to unmute and speak your candle aloud. There are folks who would really appreciate hearing your voices. So we'll be doing that later in the service. And you also have our regular option of typing them in the chat. Our chalice lighting this morning is by Gwen Matthews, entitled You Are the Holiday Miracle. If you have a candle or a chalice nearby, you might want to bring it forward. As December opens up before us, we welcome in the gift of reflection. We turn toward our holiday celebrations and search for common threads of meaning. We begin with Yule, the winter solstice, and we are invited to explore duality, cycles and seasons, and to witness the Holly King being overcome by the Oak King. Yule reminds us that we all partake in the miracle of renewal. Hanukkah, the festival of lights, and tonight is the 8th night of Hanukkah, commemorates a time of miracles when the faith of the Jewish people sustained them to reclaim their holy temple and keep the light of the menorah burning for 8 days. Christmas, the celebration of Jesus's humble birth in the manger, offers us to revisit the miracle of birth and the desire to find saviors to heal the scars of humanity. Here in this place, you are just as much a holiday miracle as the turning of the earth, as persistence and dedication to a faith, as the creation of each new life. We see the love you give to others, the space you create to hold one another's joys and sorrows, and the generosity and spirit you entrust to this community. You are the holiday miracle. This community is one of miracle makers. So we light our chalices this morning in the spirit of community and everyday miracles. Holidays can be a time of great joy and great consternation and everything in between. We know that all the things can happen: fun and excitement and happiness, the anticipation of seeing people you love, doing traditional things, carrying out the activities that you love, like going to see lights or putting up a tree, anything like that. And they can also be fraught. Families or friendships or loneliness can be messy and complicated. And the coronavirus has certainly added layers of complication to what was already a tricky season to navigate. And if you are experiencing grief or carrying a loss, it can be even harder. Everything is amplified. So we want to invite you to settle in and to know that whatever you're feeling heading into this holiday season is right. It's your experience. It is what it is. And we hold it with love and with care in this space. What we know from being together is that our burdens are lighter when they are carried by many hands, and our celebrations are brighter when they are shared with the ones we love. On the left, we have a collapsed gingerbread house with a dinosaur in the middle of it, and it says, if your gingerbread house fails, just add a dinosaur. On the right, we have Santa in a sleigh with a bag of toys and 2 reindeer, and the front one appears to be dancing. And Santa says, seriously, Dancer, knock it off. I think Dancer should keep going. I don't know about you. I think dancers should dance all that dancer wants, but maybe not when they're flying. So holidays can be buckets of fun, and they can be messy and disastrous. It's true that they can be a challenge. All the food and all the baking and all the crafts and the gifts and the light and the tree and the stories we tell and the songs we sing and the people. Oh, the people, they can be a handful. And the songs, I mean, one that could be our favorite Christmas carol one year could become our most annoying earworm the next year. There are no Christmas carols in this service, just so we don't break any of them for any of you. Now let's move to our next song. It just captures some of the other complicated feelings that people might carry when the holiday season rolls around. No Slowing Down by Carrie Day.
Mama, I done what I was told. Found a good boy, we built us a home. I close my eyes and it all passed me by. Now I'm feeling the ache in my bones. We were young and so full of dreams. No hope was too high for us, it seemed. Day by day, the years slipped away, leaving behind faded memories. And time goes faster and faster, and there's no slowing down, no slowing down. Lost my Charlie one long night last summer. A good father, and no man worked harder. Making ends meet was no easy feat, while raising our sons and our daughters. I keep busy and sometimes don't notice just how quiet and empty the house is. Mama, it's true, I'm so much like you. All I want are the kids home this Christmas. And time goes faster and faster, and there's no slowing down, no slowing down. And not every sun sets an ending. Gonna lie down and wait for the morning, the still of the night comforts me, and each new sunrise is a blessing. And time goes faster and faster. Oh, time goes faster and faster. Oh, time goes faster and faster. And there's no slowing down, no slowing down, no slowing down, slowing down.
You will see that our slides this morning are all different background colors, not our usual Westwood theme colors, because we're just trying to lift up the rainbow of feelings that happen around the holidays. So we are beginning our Advent candles this week, but we're actually a week behind because last week we attended the CUC National Service, and we're celebrating the adoption of our new 8th principle. So when you watch the Advent video coming up next, you'll see that there are 2 candles in it because we didn't want to leave out last week. We're catching up. So here we go. This is the season of anticipation, the marking of time leading up to an expected event. Here at Westwood, we are marking the weeks leading up to winter solstice, the turning of the earth which places us at the furthest angle from the sun, the shortest day and the longest night of the year. The candle of hope represents the resilience of humanity through life's challenges and trials. This candle is lit in the direction of east, the place of new beginnings, the breath of fresh air. Together, we work toward a world where all living beings may experience safety and security, beauty and promise, and we help each other to remain hopeful when this work is hard. The candle of peace represents the promise of peace in the world and in our lives. We light this candle in the south, the direction associated with the element of fire, the desire for life and the direction of the heart. We acknowledge our needs for life and love and focus our effort toward being effective ambassadors of peace. And a thank you to Heather McLean-Smith for filming the recording of the lighting of the Advent candles for us. Love and longing sometimes travel side by side. The image on the screen says, "All I want for Christmas is you," written on a mug. Holidays can be filled with connection and friendship and family, but they can also bring heartache and disappointment and echoes of loss. Carrie's next song, "Someday," touches on the complexity of these feelings.
I let it burn till morn again. The little lamp beside the bed, like a beacon or a firefly, to light the darkest part of the night. I mapped out plans in the ceiling crash. Gonna leave this place and never look back. Miles beyond this Dust Bowl city, to the countryside, all green and pretty. Someday, maybe someday, someday, maybe someday, the time this way, thinking someday, maybe someday. Kaleidoscope of scattered dreams, stardust hopes or memories, turned over one too many times. They kinda lost their edge, lost their shine. They're all the things I can't forget, things I said I'd do and haven't yet, making me the whole day through, keeping me up most nights too. Someday, maybe someday, someday, maybe someday, I don't mean to pass the time this way, thinking someday, 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 maybe someday.
Carrie will play a familiar song, and we invite you to type into the chat any candles you're still holding in your heart and would like to share. And if you want to answer Rebecca's question about what carols you would like to sing in 2 weeks, feel free to type them in there too, and then we can save the chat for her. Here we go.
I see trees of green and red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know, and I think to myself,
We light one final candle for all those joys and concerns and feelings that we carry in our hearts. May this always be a safe and supportive place for people to share them. Now, please join me in the affirmation on the screen. May the light of these candles inspire us to use our power to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to serve the spirit of truth in loving affection and trusting hope. And now we have a momentary pause for dogs with antlers and elf ears, because dogs and feelings just naturally go together. In the spirit of winter and creative possibilities, we're taking lessons from bears now on how to get through the winter. So here's what the comic says. How bears really make it through the winter. And there are two bears at the entrance to a cave and a sign that's beside them that says, "Come in and witness the mystery of hibernation. Free coffee." Maybe we could take an example from that when we're back in the building, lure people in with the big coffee signs, but not eat them like the bears. Perhaps this could be our next fundraising activity. Who knows? Westwood is self-supporting, an independent congregation rallying our collective resources to sustain this community of spirit and of hope. Opportunities to contribute are listed on the screen, or go to our website, westwoodunitarian.ca, for more ways to donate. Let's join together with Rebecca singing the affirmation, and the words are on the bottom of the screen.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
I'm fine. Everything is fine. The image on the screen is a tangle of holiday lights. We may be tied up in tinsel and lights and people and stuff and plans and busyness, but it is what it is. And we continue on. Now, this song is really the heart of this service, and this is the tender place. So I have a little story to tell you, and then we'll listen to the song. The Banksons, Abigail and Sean, who gave us that wonderful Keep Going On song that was so sustaining in the beginning of the pandemic, were commissioned to create an album. And I highly recommend that you Google, when it's playing, I'll type it in the chat, that you Google Arena Riffs, My Joy is Heavy. And not only will you get to see them singing the 6 songs in the album, but you will hear them. It's a documentary of the creation of the album and what they've been through in the pandemic. Now, content warning, they talk about pregnancy loss, and you will need a whole box of Kleenex to get through that video. But it is so moving and so cathartic and beautiful. I just highly recommend it to everyone. Here is the story for the title track on that album. The Banksons have had a difficult time conceiving children. So their first pregnancy did not complete, and they suffered a devastating loss. Their second pregnancy did complete, and they have a healthy, beautiful little boy. But when they were expecting him, they were afraid. They were anxious. They were worried about whether or not they would get through it, and they were afraid to invest themselves in the experience. They held their breath and white-knuckled through for the entire pregnancy. They missed the joy. Now they have this lovely little human, and he is full of joy and brings all kinds of love and light to their life. And so that was a wonderful, happy ending and way to revision that story. But then in the process of creating this album and in this pandemic that makes everything so much harder, they got pregnant again. And they realized that they felt like they had really missed something with their son's story because they didn't celebrate the joy of anticipation of his coming. And they had to make a hard choice. Would they hold their breath until they knew how it was going to turn out? Or would they allow themselves to feel the joy and celebrate and prepare and do all those exciting anticipatory things that we take for granted when someone is expecting? And they made that choice. They decided they would feel the joy. And then that pregnancy did not complete. And they tell this story in the documentary, and it is the most beautiful, tender-hearted thing. And this song is their response to that experience. And to sum up the message in just a couple of sentences, what they want you to know is that you get to keep the joy. And that's so true with all of our losses in life, is that when we love people, or we love our beautiful fur babies, or we love the job that we do, or the places that we visit, and then we lose them, it can be heartrending. But we get to keep the joy. And so that idea that we could guard our heart and avoid anything tender and risky and vulnerable means that we never get the joy in the first place. Now, when we lose something or someone that we love, the joy is heavy. And you need some help to carry it. And that is one of the blessings of community, is that we help one another to carry our burdens, and even joy can temporarily be a burden. And we help one another to carry it until we are able to just lay some of it down. This is their song that they wrote, entitled "My Joy is Heavy." You get to keep the joy. It may be heavy sometimes, and you may need help to carry it, but you get to keep the joy. Our next song, again by our beloved Carrie Day, is entitled Love.
It's everywhere, like the quiet whisper of a distant prayer. Close your eyes, you'll feel it in the air. And on and on and on it goes, forever, as far as anyone knows. Just like a river runs and the wind blows. It's in rainbows and dream big dreams, and let life unfold as we grow in its beauty. Let's run, let's have some fun. We'll laugh, we'll cry, and we'll come undone, and count our many blessings one by one. It's in
Our chalice extinguishing is by the Reverend Wayne B. Arneson, who is a Canadian serving in the States. Holiday season prayer. Spirit of life, the beginning of the holiday season is filled with temptations to conspicuous consumptions and pleas for generosity. The contrast between the values represented by this time of year and our ability to fulfill them remind us how great the distance can be between aspirations and actions. Our prayer this day, then, is that we may be gentle with ourselves and with others as we do our best to navigate the tricky shoals of December. May we avoid being so distracted with our own problems and duties this year that we forget that the wider web of life is something of which we are a part. May we go about our rounds of preparations and festivities with a light heart and with boundless patience. May the dissatisfactions that are part of our lot be our companions, but not our masters as we cross the holiday threshold. And may all the joys of the season be ours this time around. Amen. I guess I should put out my chalice. Oops. I don't care if you tell me Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Joyous Kwanzaa, or Happy Holidays. I'll just be happy you said something nice to me. And now our final song to lift the room with sparkle and joy. Carrie is going to cover a song by the Turtles, which I'm guessing you all know and will be able to sing along to. Some of the words for the chorus are on the side of the screen. Here we go. Happy Together.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me and ease my mind, imagine how the world could be so very fine. So happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. Ba 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 ba. And you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. We're happy together, so happy together. We're happy together.
Isn't that just the most joyful, sweet video? I love to see somebody doing what they love. Thank you for joining us this morning. I see some new faces here and some old friends visiting. It's so great to have you with us. Next Sunday, we have the fantastic Jan Henderson coming to the Zoom screen to speak to you in a service entitled Warts and All. The link is on our Westwood calendar and on the front page of our website. And I hope that you can be there because she is a delight and a fantastic storyteller.